Hello again, NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. On this week's show, we'll break down all the action from across the North Coast Athletic Conference for the week ending on Sunday, February the 3rd. We'll open this week's show by recognizing our Indoor Track and Field Athlete of the Week award winners for events contested last weekend. First, for the women, Ohio Wesleyan junior Sarah Bechtel captured the award for field events after winning the pole vault with a leap of 11 feet, 3 3/4 inches at the Bomber Invitational hosted by Ithaca College in New York. The women's award for sprint and hurdle events went to Wittenberg freshman Bree Medlock after she won both the 200-meter and 400-meter dash events at the College of Worcester's Fighting Scott Invitational. The Galena, Ohio native crossed the finish line in the 200 with a time of 27:02 and broke the tape in the 400 with a time of 1:01:43. And the final women's award for distance and middle distance events was awarded to Denison senior Michelle Clark. Clark was victorious in the 3,000-meter run with a time of 10:41:78 to help the Big Red finish 4th overall at the Fighting Scott Invitational. And the first men's weekly award for field events went to Ohio Wesleyan senior Ethan Perry, who finished 7th overall in the weight throw at the Ithaca College Bomber Invitational with a heave of 47 feet, 11 inches. Wittenberg sophomore Justin Yates garnered the men's weekly award for sprint and hurdle events after helping the Tigers win their first team championship since 1997 at the College of Worcester's Fighting Scott Invitational. Yates took home the weekly honor after winning the 400-meter dash with a time of 50:08 and running key legs on the second place 4x200-meter relay and the third place 4x400-meter relay. And the final men's award for distance and middle distance events went to Denison senior and Sewickley, Pennsylvania native Chad Kazanovich. Kazanovich broke the tape in the 3,000-meter run with a time of 8:46:72 to help the Big Red finish 3rd overall at the Fighting Scott Invitational. NCAC indoor track and field action continues this weekend, highlighted by the Ohio-based league squads competing at the All-Ohio Championships at Otterbein University in Westerville, Ohio on Saturday afternoon. Let's now shift our attention to the pool, where league squads officially wrapped up the dual meet portion of their schedules last weekend in preparation for the 2013 NCAC Swimming and Diving Championships, which will be contested at the C.T. Brandon Natatorium in Canton, Ohio on February 13th through the 16th. Denison, DePaul, and Kenyon all completed their regular season schedules on winning notes last weekend. The Big Red racked up a pair of wins over Ohio Wesleyan on Saturday in Delaware, with the men winning 139-87 and the women by a margin of 134-84. The DPU men finished the season with a perfect 8-0 mark in dual meets and extended their dual meet win streak to 24 straight after taking down Rose Hallman 138-130. In addition, the DPU women were also victorious against the Engineers by a score of 134-78. Kenyon was in action on both Friday and Saturday last weekend. The Lords defeated Ohio Wesleyan 178-46 on Friday and Wittenberg 199-85 on Saturday, while the ladies earned a 191-46 triumph over OWU and a 214-82 victory against Wittenberg. NCAC Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Week honors went to Kenyon Jr. Andrew Chevalier on the men's side and Wittenberg Jr. Molly Gustafson on the women's side. Gustafson turned in the best swim by an NCAC women's student athlete last weekend as she touched first in the 200 breast against Kenyon with a time of 2:27:54. Chevalier touched first in 4 separate individual events for the Lords last weekend. On Friday against OWU, he won the 200 IM in a time of 1:57:15 and the 500 free in a time of 4:43:06. And he then posted wins in the 400 IM in a time of 4:09:58 and the 1,000 free in a time of 10:14:71 on Saturday against Wittenberg. NCAC swim fans, be sure to tune in next week as we will offer a brief preview of the 2013 NCAC Swimming and Diving Championships. And finally, we'll wrap up this week's show by analyzing NCAC basketball action from last week. The heated race in the North Coast men's basketball season continues to escalate as 6 teams are currently in the hunt for one of the coveted top 4 spots in the league standings. Worcester remains on the top of the league standings with an 11-1 record against NCAC foes, while Ohio Wesleyan is second at 9-3, Wittenberg is third at 7-5, and Denison, DePaul, and Kenyon are tied for 4th with identical 6-6 marks against league opponents. Denison catapulted into the 3-way tie in the league standings after splitting a pair of contests last week, first falling to number 8 Worcester 94-64 before knocking off Hiram on Saturday by a score of 70-64. DU senior Damon Hale, who scored 40 points and hauled in 21 rebounds on the week, passed Denison legend Lou Mitchell on the school's all-time scoring list and now ranks 4th in school history with 1,645 career points. Wabash made some noise last week as the Little Giants knocked off arch-rival DePaul 52-48 on Wednesday and then upset 8th-ranked Worcester 55-48 on Saturday. Freshman guard Ross Sponsler led the Little Giants offense on the week with 34 points, including a 20-point effort against the Fighting Scots. On the week, Sponsler shot 39% from the field, 46% from three-point range, and 77% from the charity stripe. For his efforts, Sponsler did collect NCAC Men's Basketball Player of the Week accolades for the 2nd time this season. Kenyon also swept a pair of conference tilts last week, defeating Hiram 76-68 and DePaul 66-65 to run its current winning streak to 3 straight. In the victory over DPU, junior forward Akena Wadibia drove the baseline, spun, and banked in a driving layup with 4 seconds left to lift the Lords to the 1-point victory. On the week, Wadibia totaled 40 points and 22 rebounds to go along with 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block shot. And finally, after knocking off Denison 94-64 on Wednesday, Worcester head coach Steve Moore became the 4th coach in NCAA Division III history and the 30th across all 3 NCAA divisions to reach the 700-win plateau. NCAC men's basketball action continues this week with 5 games each on Wednesday and Saturday, highlighted by Worcester hosting Ohio Wesleyan on Wednesday and Wittenberg traveling to Worcester on Saturday. And now let's take a look at women's basketball action from last week. DePaul has clinched its 2nd straight outright NCAC title and the number 1 seed in the 2013 NCAC Women's Basketball Tournament after defeating Kenyon 77-57, Allegheny 67-36, and Hiram 91-46 in league action last week. And like the men, the race for the remaining top 3 spots in the league standings remains up for grabs, as Kenyon is currently in 2nd at 9-4, Denison is 3rd at 8-4, and Allegheny, Ohio Wesleyan, and Wittenberg are tied for 4th with identical 6-6 records. Denison is currently riding a 5-game winning streak and has elevated in the league standings after knocking off Worcester 67-56 and Kenyon 66-54 in action last week. The Big Red got double-digit scoring efforts from 4 different players, led by senior point guard Serafina Nuzzo, who averaged 14.5 points, 7 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and 3 steals per contest. Ohio Wesleyan continues to rise in the league standings as the Battling Bishops improve to 500 at 6-6, with wins over Wittenberg 63-45 and Oberlin 60-50. The squad was led by this week's NCAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week honoree, junior post Tamra Londot. Londot garnered the recognition after scoring 19 points and grabbing 9 rebounds against Wittenberg, and then posting a double-double with 14 points and 12 rebounds against Oberlin. On the week, Londot shot 63% from the field and 60% from the free throw line, to go along with 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 blocked shot. In 3 games last week, Worcester was 1-2 overall, but did get 2 record-setting performances from senior center Jessica Wingen. The senior post from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, had the 2 highest scoring games of her career, tallying a career-high 26 against Denison and then pouring in 23 in a 68-54 win over Oberlin. Hiram captured back-to-back wins in NCAC action for the first time this season last week as the Terriers knocked off Oberlin 70-58 on Wednesday before taking down Wittenberg 57-54 on Friday evening. In the Terriers' first ever win in program history over Wittenberg, junior Danielle Day finished with 12 points and 11 rebounds. NCAC women's basketball action continues this week with 4 games each on Wednesday and Saturday, again highlighted by Wittenberg hosting Denison on Wednesday and Denison hosting Allegheny on Saturday. Fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can log on to our website at www.northcoast.org. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. And for the entire conference staff, I'm Brett Bilhart, and thanks for watching.